I couldn't wait. I wasn't gonna do this, but I couldn't wait. My AirPods Pro just landed about 20 minutes ago. I was gonna wait and do my full review, but I couldn't help it. We gotta do a little hands-on first impressions, sound test review using nothing but my very expressive face. Okay, you get the point. So here they are, my AirPods Pro. Aren't they lovely? Aren't they wonderful? Just a little preamble here. I love my AirPods. It's one of my favorite products that Apple has ever made. Ever since they came out, I have been utterly happy with them. I use them all the time. I use them when I'm working out, to listen to music, when I'm listening to podcasts. They're a revelation because they're so versatile. You can use them to listen to music, but then you can just pop one in to listen to a podcast. And they are really the best, truly set it and forget it earphones that are out there as far as wireless earphones are concerned. They just work so very well. Normally I actually don't like in-ear earphones because they're just too far in there, they're uncomfortable, and the AirPods were perfect. They just fit my ears so perfectly. I could leave them in all day long, and they're wireless, of course, so they give you that freedom. I'm curious to see how I like having these in my ears, but we're also gonna test out the sound quality versus the original AirPods, which I have right here, which I love, and I think these actually sound pretty good. Do these really sound $100 better than these? I don't know. Okay, let's get started. I'm excited. Uh-oh. Inside, we have the AirPods in their little AirPods case diaper right there so that you don't get any unwanted fingerprints on it during the shipping process. Pull these guys out because I think something actually pretty noteworthy is underneath. If you're a package nerd, you're probably really gonna appreciate the simplicity and genius of this design. So inside the box here, you have this little pull tab, and when you pull it out, the entire box just lifts up like this, and underneath it, you also have this little piece that you were holding onto and didn't even know that you were holding onto. Bust these guys open, of course, you have the little ear tips right in there. And of course, we've got the cable in here. I'll add that to my collection of unused cables. Okay, first impressions. This case is significantly larger than I thought it was going to be. I mean, compared to the original AirPods case, it does feel like it's significantly bigger. I saw a lot of people turning it this way. I think this is a fair comparison. So now the width of the cases are the same size, and this one is, I'm gonna say, probably 20% larger. That may not be a big deal to you, but when I have this in my pocket, you're gonna have a significant bulge in there. It's probably not gonna fit with my cucumber wrapped in tinfoil already positioned in there. And then we bust that open, and ooh, baby, that just looks absolutely beautiful, the way they're in there and presented. Oh man, the aesthetic of these I like so much more than the original AirPods. One of my original complaints with the AirPods was just how freaking nerdy looking they are. I just couldn't get over it. I know some people don't care, but if you put the AirPod Pro next to the AirPod and you just put them side by side, you can totally see how much shorter the AirPod Pro is than the original AirPod. And that's gonna make you look way less dorky when you have them in your ears. Don't worry, I'm not going to have a close-up shot of my ear. I know some of you really enjoy those, but I'm not into giving gratuitous ear shots in my ear unless you want to DM me and send me some PayPal money or something. Maybe we could work something out. Okay, now this is what I'm talking about. Check this out. Look how sleek and slender this looks. And then look at this giant toothbrush hanging out of my ear. Sleek and slender, svelte, accentuates your jawline, big, giant toothbrush hanging out of your ear. I think the look alone is probably worth the cost to me. It's such a huge difference, and I know a lot of you don't care about the way that they look, but these things look dorky for sure. And people notice that they're in your ear, and these have a much more athletic shape to them, and they have a contour that kind of matches your face, which I really appreciate. And I gotta say, the original tip that we have on right now, I think this is the medium tip, it fits perfectly in my ear. This thing went right into my ear right away, and it actually feels really nice, although there is more pressure in my ear right now than there is with the original AirPod. This isn't quite as invisible as the original AirPod is, and I'm wondering if I'm gonna get some ear fatigue wearing these for long periods of time. I'll revisit these, of course, in my full review, and I'll talk about how they feel at that time. Let's get the other one popped in and let's do some sound tests. Wow, okay, so the noise cancellation is really subtle. When it turned on, when I had the AirPods Pro in for the first time, it must have just been turned on by default. And I actually couldn't even really tell that it was turned on, but it was oddly silent in the studio here. And the studio is pretty silent anyway, so there's not a lot of ambient noise, but I have computers and stuff going, so there's like fans whirring and stuff, but it became utterly silent when I first put these in. Now I have them in transparency mode. And it's strange because it's letting in my voice and it's letting in the ambient room noise, but I can tell that there's some kind of digital process that is affecting the noise. It doesn't sound exactly like it would if you just took these out of your ear and didn't speak and just had the silence going. There's definitely some coloring of the sound that you're hearing, but it's pretty cool. You can actually hear everything going on around you. And then when you activate the noise control, that silence kicks in and you can still hear some stuff that's going on around you, but for the most part, all you hear is quietness. Okay, I'm gonna take these out right now and let's move on to the sound test. Let's boot up my original AirPods and let's kick on one of the most sultry, sensual tunes that I can find on Spotify.
We know that team's down there, right?
I know, they're down there, they're coming to get you down.
I also know there's like 5 or 6 guys in this lobby.
Here they come.
Desperate. For just a hint of love.
Of love. Okay, now the real test. The same track with the AirPods Pro. First and foremost, I'm gonna listen to the first part of this track. Let's try this with transparency mode on, which means we're hearing the ambient noise first. Turning on noise cancellation.
I had a song earlier. Did you make that up? I don't think I've ever heard it.
Yeah, I just made it up.
It's great.
What was it again?
Give 'em the love. Tonight. Give 'em the love.
How do I even describe this? Okay, here's what the pros do that the AirPods don't do. They add depth and delineation in the sound. So there's much more midtones, there's more bass, and the frequencies that you hear, the pitches that you hear on all good speaker systems, they're more delineated. You can tell what's going on. You can hear tones where they were mushy before, where you couldn't really pinpoint what was going on. You can hear those things much more clearly in the AirPods Pro. And then you add that to the active noise cancellation and it puts the sound against a neutral canvas. Whereas with the AirPods, you're constantly hearing what's going on around you. With the AirPods Pro, you can cancel out all of those competing noise, and so you're getting a much more pure audio experience where you're just hearing what's going on in the sound that you're listening to, and it makes a practical difference for sure. It makes it a much more relaxing experience, and it makes it easier to hear all of those parts in the music, in the podcast that you would otherwise miss. You add the noise isolation and the active noise cancellation, along with a better audio experience, along with some of the other features that these have, and I'm thrilled that I have these. I paid for these myself. They cost me $290 with tax or whatever they were. I think that they're worth it. I think that they're worth it just for the build quality, just for the active noise cancellation, and of course, the new aesthetic, which I absolutely love and is so much better than the original AirPods. I could keep going on and on, but I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up there. I gotta leave some choice tidbits for my full review, and plus, we're barely scratching the surface of the features in these AirPods Pro. I wanna use them for at least a week, come back with my full video. So make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you wanna see more content just like this. I'm coming back with even better content very soon. My name's Erfon Elijah, Gadget Hunter. I'm on the prowl for the best gadgets and tech, bringing them to you on this channel. Make sure you come back real soon, and I'll see you guys next time.
love.